Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by Honda. At the Checkered Flag event, the real victory lap is the drive home.
Welcome everyone to Kansas City and an absolutely picture-perfect Friday evening. Yes, it is June in KC and it's only 26 degrees. You would take that any day at any time. This is game one of a 3-game set here for John Gibbons and the Blue Jays, who lost yesterday in Texas and are 2-2 on this 7-game road trip. Justin Smoke gets the evening off. Here is the starting lineup. Josh Donaldson, we didn't know up until about an hour ago whether or not he was going to play this evening. He is cleared to play. You see his numbers against the Kansas City Royals from a season ago. This is the first meeting between these two this season, which means it's the first time that Kendrys Morales sees his former teammates, a team in which he helped win the 2015 World Series against the New York Mets. He has an 8-game hit streak. And a rookie is on the hill for Kansas City.
This is 24-year-old rookie Jake Junis. He'll make his 5th start and 7th appearance. He has never faced the Blue Jays. He is coming off a loss last Saturday at Anaheim. He gave up 5 runs on 8 hits and 5 1/3 innings, his first major league loss in that game. Home runs have been a problem for Junis, allowing 6 home runs in 16 innings over his last 3 starts. This is his 4th stint with the Royals, making his major league debut April the 12th versus Oakland. He made 7 starts in AAA and gave up just 8 walks while he was in AAA. He throws a lot of strikes.
Jose Bautista swings at the first pitch and fouls it back. This is the 3rd consecutive game that we find Jose Bautista leading off. And you hear the boos in Kansas City. Ground ball chopped right through the right side and a leadoff single for Bautista.
That's how you take advantage of the overshift for the Kansas City Royals. Jose gets a fastball inside outs it, and that's an easy base hit to right field. Good start for the Jays.
And Russell Martin, 2nd straight day hitting behind Jose Bautista. Blue Jays are 2 games under 500 as Martin fouls it off to the right side. Kansas City, they're 1 game under 500. However, don't be deceived by that. They're 35 and 36. Against the East, they're 10-6, coming off of a series against the Boston Red Sox. And they've won now 9 of their last 11 as that pitch misses outside.
There's no question that the Royals come into this ball game a hot team, almost mirroring what the Blue Jays did early in the season. A tough April, a little bit better in May, but right now their June has been hot.
The 1-1 misses away in the count, 2 balls and 1 strike. They started 10-20 and since that time 25-16. They have been 500 once this season. Ed Yost, the manager of Kansas City, saw his team at 7-7, just down the 3rd base line foul.
Well, we've had 2 batters for the Blue Jays already tonight, and I like the approach that they have had against the young rookie Jake Junis. Be aggressive. Nothing in his arsenal really jumps out at you and you say, wow, that's a tough pitch that the Blue Jays are going to have to deal with. His fastball is about 93 miles an hour. His best pitch is his slider, and he likes to use it with 2 strikes. That's where he will get the majority of his strikeouts.
Right-hander comes set, peeks over the shoulder at Bautista, and Martin looks at a pitch away. And the count of 3 balls and 2 strikes.
That was the slider right there, and he put it in a good spot.
Laz Diaz calls the balls and strikes, and Joe West, the crew chief, at first. John Jumpane is at second, and Corey Blazer at third. Our umpiring crew for this series. Martin awaits. Runner is off. Pitch is a strike and got Bautista. And strike him out, throw him out, double play here in the top of the first.
Well, that's Sal Perez right there. He's the best catcher in the American League. Threw out 30% of the runners last season. This year he's at 23% from his knees because it's a slider. He said, you know what, it's better if I just get that ball down there as quick as possible. He's a big guy, about 6'4", 6'5". He doesn't waste any time getting up to his feet. He just fires it from his knees and gets the runner.
Cannon.
That's 10 caught stealing now, tying him with Welling Castillo for the third most in the American League.
Donaldson is the batter, and Jake Junis to the plate, and the pitch dips down and in. Good news for the Blue Jays that Donaldson is playing. Since joining the Blue Jays, when he doesn't, they're 25 and 27. When he does play, they've won 192 games and lost 152.
And it was late that he was put in the lineup. The lineup came down very late, like right around 6 o'clock. You can see that Josh is wearing sunglasses at the plate. And you're like, why is he wearing sunglasses for a night game? Well, the sun is setting here, and early on at Kauffman Stadium, that sun ricochets off that back wall, making it very tough for the batters to pick up the breaking ball. So Donaldson has a little bit of protection. Help him see the ball just a little bit more.
Donaldson didn't play yesterday. Martin played third. He was going to DH, and then he was a late scratch. Left knee soreness. Smoke gets the evening off tonight for the Blue Jays. And the 2-2. Fan down. And it looks like maybe, as you had mentioned, having a tough time right now seeing the baseball. We head to the bottom of inning number 1. '15 World Series title, and here is his lineup, searching for 500 for just the second time this season. Sal Perez over the last dozen games hitting .465, 9 extra base hits and 11 RBIs. Alex Gordon, the 9-hitter, 5 for 11 against Happ with a double, a home run, and 3 RBIs. And yes, Jay Happ is on the hill, the left-hander for the Blue Jays. Tabby.
He makes his 8th start of the season and looks like he is rounding into form. Jay was shut down for 6 weeks with elbow inflammation, and this is just his 4th start since coming off the disabled list. He's getting stronger, with his last start being his best, pitching into the 7th inning, striking out a season-high tying 9 batters and winning his 2nd consecutive start. The arm strength is there, like we talked about in the opening. The finish on his pitches seem to be there. He's getting stronger. He's building up, and Blue Jays don't have to worry about Jay Happ now. He's fine. He can go his 100, 110 pitches.
Pitch is called to strike. Whit Merrifield, the second baseman, to begin things, and then rookie Jorge Bonifacio, followed by Lorenzo Cain, if anybody gets on Eric Hosmer, as that pitch skips away from Martin here.
Merrifield's a baseball player. They have put him in that leadoff spot. He has taken over at second base. He didn't make this team out of spring training. And when he was called back up, it was almost like, I'm going to show you that I belong in the major leagues. And he's been a tough out for this team.
Hitting .289 overall. We talked about how that sun just shines off of the hitting background. And certainly it appeared as though it was an issue in the top of the first for Martin as well as Donaldson, picking up the baseball. You played here. Do you get used to that?
You never get used to not seeing the baseball. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is where you hope that you hit down in the lineup so that sun goes down and you get a little bit better background. You know, I think it's not just the batter or the catcher. I think the umpire has trouble seeing the ball right now as that ball the sun ricochets off of that backdrop right there, making it very bright, tough to pick up the baseball.
Do you ever change your approach? Maybe just zero in on one pitch instead of, or do you just try to deal with it?
You just deal with it. The hardest part about this right here is picking up the spin on the breaking ball. Fastball, no problem. You can see that out of his hand. It's the breaking ball that you have trouble with.
Loop down the right field line, curving foul, and Ian Parmley was called up from AAA Buffalo, scoops it up, making his major league debut and tosses it into the crowd. Great thrill for Parmley, originally selected 7th in the 7th round at a Liberty University. Hit in the air to right center field. Moving over is Parmley, and Parmley with the catch, and there's one away here in the bottom of inning number 1. Defense out of the outfield. Dwight Smith Jr., Kevin Aplar, you see him patting Ian Parmley there on the chest. On the left side of the infield, Donaldson, Tulowitzki on the right, Goins, and Kendrys Morales gets the start at first. The battery is Happ to Martin, Tabby.
Major league debut for Ian Parmley. There he is out in right field. 32 games in center field in Buffalo this year, 25 in right field. He had a game in left field. He also had a game as a pitcher for Buffalo. I think the Blue Jays brought him up here along with Dwight Smith because this is a big outfield. They need a little bit more speed in the corners in the outfield for this series against the Royals.
Bonifacio looks at a strike count of 1 ball, 1 strike. These are Valdez optioned down to AAA. We saw him work yesterday as Happ misses high. Worked 3 1/3 innings, 4 hits, 4 runs, 2 walks, struck out a pair and allowed a home run. And as John Gibbons said before the game, he knew that he wouldn't use Valdez over the next couple of days, and so they brought up Ian Parmley. Count of 2 balls, 2 strikes with 1 away. And using the glove with the shades on top. It's interesting, yesterday, as Bonifacio looks at a pitch, Russell Martin, who was playing third, used the old flip.
Yeah.
Sunglasses, which you rarely see anymore.
Which would work now, because the reason he doesn't have them on right now, because he's standing in the sun and he's looking into the shade. He can't pick up the ball, the flight of the ball from the pitcher off the bat, but once it gets up into the sun, that's when you can use your flip, but he doesn't have them.
Hit in the air to right field, curving foul and out of play. You rarely see anybody use the flip anymore, but Martin yesterday at third was. And there was a couple of times where he was, flipping up, just making sure.
Practicing?
Yeah.
Practicing with them?
just to make sure the sun, the shade, how it was all gonna. The sky yesterday in Texas, cloudy, a little bit difficult picking up the ball as it was fouled off to the right side of that last pitch. Lorenzo Cain awaits on deck.
Jorge Bonifacio, if you're wondering, this is Emilio Bonifacio's brother, but a different type of player. Bonifacio, Emilio, smaller, faster, slashes the ball, a little bit more power. With Jorge, a little bit taller, a little bit stronger than his brother. Since he has been put into this lineup, he's had some tough at-bats. That's why Ned Yost has him hitting in that second spot. He and Whit Merrifield have put some good at-bats together for this team, setting the table for Cain and Hosmer and Perez. Used to be a free swinging team at the top of the lineup, now a little bit more patient.
High in the air, and Pilar using his right hand to shade the sun and is underneath it, and there's 2 down now. Bonifacio, you talked about being a different player. He has some pop in that bat, 10 home runs. That's tied for 4th among rookies as Cain is making his way toward the batter's box. Lorenzo Cain hitting .282, 10 homers, 27 RBIs is the hitter. And Jay Happ winds and deals. Fouled off behind us and quickly 0-1.
Well, that's a key for Happ, is to get ahead, strike one. Threw a lot of fastballs in his last start, jumped ahead against the White Sox many times with that first pitch strike. Boy, his fastball is a lot better than we saw just 2 or 3 starts ago. His command's better. This looks like the Jay Happ we saw last year when he won 20 ball games. Get it and go. Trust your fastball, trust your stuff. Make good pitches, have quick innings.
The 0-2 fouled off into the dugout of the Blue Jays. And speaking to pitching coach Pete Walker, one of the things he said, it's not mechanical anymore, right? He's back to, as you just meant, he's really attacking hitters now.
He's attacking. His ball's got some finish on it now. He's got a little bit more arm strength since he's come back off the disabled list.
Popped in the air right side. There's Goins drifting back, and he's underneath it, and it's a 1-2-3 bottom of the first. We travel now to the top of the second here from Kansas City.
For Justin Smoke. The Blue Jays need your help to smoke the vote and send Justin Smoke to the All-Star game. You can vote up to 5 times daily. Head to bluejays.com/vote before June 29th to hope to send that man to the All-Star game. And what a start to the year he has had.
Fourth Arash in the American League in home runs, third in slugging percentage, has a 7-game hit streak where he's hitting .385. Against lefties, he has the second best batting average at .393, and his road batting average is 7th at .308. He's deserving. Just saying. And I know, and we've seen it before, and we've seen it not only with the Blue Jays, as well with the Toronto Raptors. Now the great country of Canada gets behind their players. And I'm certain that will happen with Justin Smoak, as Kendrys Morales is the batter, hitting .271, 15 homers and 43 runs driven in.
And for all of that, Smokey has the night off in Kansas City. They wanted to DH Jose to get him off of his feet, keep Morales' bat in the lineup. Morales used to play for the Kansas City Royals, and he was a very popular player when he was with Kansas City. The fans gave him a nice little ovation when he came to the plate. Sal Perez gave him a nice little tap on the shoulder. Very popular player here.
Fouls it off to the right side. Back in 2015, his first year with Kansas City, he hit .290, 41 doubles, 22 home runs, and drove in 106. In the postseason, he had 4 home runs, 10 RBIs. As he hits this one into the air, turning back is Gordon. He settles underneath it, and there's one away here in the top of the second.
Well, we have a second. Let's take a look at the scattering report for Jake Junis. Again, he's just 24 years old. He's a rookie, and he's got all 4 of the pitches: fastball, slider, changeup, curveball. The slider is his strikeout pitch. He's going to use that to get those strikeouts. He's got an above-average fastball with some tailing action on it. He's an under-the-radar type of pitcher. He's here because of some injuries to Nate Carnes and to Dan Duffy. John Wathan, the former manager of the Kansas City Royals, said, this guy, watch out for this guy. He might surprise some people. He's been under the radar, where here he is in the big leagues. He's got long arm action, and he throws a lot of strikes.
Yeah, went on to say he's a sleeper. Nobody talks about him much. He's got some good stuff, an above average fastball with tailing action, an above average slider that he throws for strikes down in the zone. John went on to say that he does a good job mixing things up, as Troy Tulowitzki is the hitter. And he drives this one foul down the left field line.
You like to see young players, young pitchers get an opportunity, a chance at the major league level. You don't want to see some injuries, but the Kansas City Royals, like everybody else, have had injuries to their starting rotation, and they go down into the minor leagues, and you get this guy. There are his numbers in Omaha: 2-2 with a .234 earned run average, a .212 batting average against, 57 strikeouts and just 8 walks in his time in AAA this year.
In the air to right field, and there are now 2 down. Take a look at the journey for Jake Junis, and here are the minor league numbers from this season in AAA Omaha. Had 6 starts a season ago in Omaha.
So when you have a couple of guys go down, Nate Carnes on the disabled list, Jake Junis is there. Those are pretty decent numbers in AAA. I don't care where you're pitching. Those are pretty good numbers. I think the important thing is, for a young pitcher, can they throw strikes consistently? This guy had 8 walks in the minor leagues this year. Sure, transitions to that. The problem that he has had lately is he's given up too many long balls, which is hard to believe when you're pitching in this ballpark.
6 home runs in 16 innings over the last 3 games, as Dwight Smith Jr. is in the batter's box with 2 away here in the top of the second inning. And the pitch just misses away. Junis was a 29th round draft choice back in 2011. Had a scholarship out of Rock Falls, Illinois High School to pitch for the Wolfpack at North Carolina State. Decided instead to sign with the Kansas City Royals, and he's
climbing up the ladder. Last season he was in Double-A, and he was the Northwest Arkansas Pitcher of the Year. Down in Double-A for Kansas City.
Ground ball slapped through the left side, and a 2-out base hit as Dwight Smith has a base hit the other way, and that's going to bring up Kevin Pillar.
Tell you, Dwight Smith, he grew up around the game at the major league level. He is not in awe at all of playing at Major League Baseball. We saw him in Texas have a nice series. We saw his speed on the bases when they were in Texas, and now here he is in Kansas City on first base. Tough guy to run on. Sal Perez behind the plate. He can just shut down a running game. Dwight Smith has shown a lot of speed, something the Blue Jays haven't had much of this year.
Of course, Dwight's father won a World Series in Atlanta in 1995. Pillar looks at a strike. It's something that in fact John Gibbons talked about before the game, and referencing Ian Parmley coming up, how Dwight Smith Jr., I believe they're going to call a balk here. That's going to allow Dwight to go down to second base.
It looks like Laz Diaz is explaining to the catcher what it was. His foot was on the rubber and he dropped the baseball. That's a balk. When your foot is engaged on the rubber like that and you drop the ball, it's a balk. Good call.
So Smith Jr. in scoring position, and Pillar misses there. But John Gibbons went on to say very much what you just said. He goes, look, he said the thing that's helped Dwight Smith Jr. out acclimating to the big leagues, he said he hasn't really gone through a transition period because he grew up around the game. He was around it with his father as the pitch is swung on and missed. Third strikeout already for Jake Junis. Then Dwight Smith Jr. stranded at second.
In the first, you were introduced to Ian Parmley, the latest call-up by the Blue Jays, who wasn't even in big league camp during spring training. Now late June, and he's with the club here in Kansas City on the road trip. Like so many of the Blue Jays players in the minors, Parmley has been under the tutelage of soon-to-be Hall of Famer Tim Raines. Parmley relied on his speed in college, but realized pro ball is another animal. It's Raines who helped him on reads off the bat, during batting practice, working on footwork, and to track down balls defensively. Parmley told me it was Raines instilling in him, as soon as the ball is hit, put your head down and get to the spot. Parmley was there that night. You saw Raines being honored in Montreal in late March, and Ian said that ovation, that reaction the Montreal fans gave him, gave Parmley goosebumps. Matt?
Yeah, certainly special. Question about it. Another month, Cooperstown. And John Gibbons today was talking about how great Tim Raines has been with the outfielders. He said it doesn't matter to him, as Eric Hosmer takes a pitch down and in, whether or not you're a first-round pick or you're an undrafted player. He spends time with everyone that comes to him looking for advice on the base paths or the outfield.
Blue Jays have 2 of them in their lineup today. Dwight Smith down the left field line right there as he chases that foul ball by Hosmer, and Parmalee in right field. Who wouldn't listen to a Hall of Famer? Huh? You know, Rock didn't start as an outfielder. He started as a second baseman. Played against him in the minor leagues. He was a second baseman. Moved into the outfield. The rest is history.
The rest is history. And Hosmer goes down. That's the first strikeout for Jay Happ.
Hurry in for our lowest prices of the year at the Great Canadian Paint Sale on June 21st to 28th at Home Hardware.
The plaza here in Kansas City, and with one away, Sal Perez is the hitter, the catcher. A big bounce out to shortstop, and he is out at first base, is Perez. Of course, it's common that players are moved around when you think about it. And look at Craig Biggio, another Hall of Famer. He started as a catcher, played at Seton Hall University in New Jersey as a catcher, and then next thing you know, he's a second baseman.
Played the outfield.
Played the outfield at the end.
Was an all-star in all those positions.
Jorge Posadas was an infielder, moved to behind the plate for the New York Yankees.
If you're a good athlete, you can play anywhere. I think that's where we're going with this. The Blue Jays have one at third base. Josh Donaldson was a catcher. Right. Started as a catcher. His athleticism didn't do him any good behind the plate. Put him at third base, and he's an all-star.
Mike Moustakas is the hitter, hitting .276, and he looks at a pitch down low and away. Hitters right now, another half inning, they will not have to worry about the sun. Ground ball with a shift on, and it's played perfectly, and it's a 1-2-3 inning as Troy Tulowitzki throws out Moustakas. 1-2-3, 6 up, 6 down for Happ.
Well, June 29th is Thursday night in the 6, presented by TD. And yeah, that t-shirt, that's the giveaway. First 15,000 fans to show up to Rogers Center will get the Stro t-shirt. You can join pregame in the WestJet flight deck for live music and entertainment Thursday night in the 6, presented by TD. BlueJays.com for tickets. Matt.
Marcus Stroman, unfortunately, a rough outing yesterday. Just 4 innings, allowed 7 runs. And Blue Jays cut it 7-4. And then some late inning runs by Texas, and that was it. It's Goins, then Ian Parmley in his major league debut, and then back to the top of the order and Jose Bautista. Goins yesterday had the day off, and a breaking pitch is in there for a strike. Some big at bats in that series against the Texas Rangers did Ryan Goins.
He was the guy who got it started for the Blue Jays in that 9th inning on Monday versus Matt Bush with a leadoff double, helping the Blue Jays to come back to win that game.
2 balls and 1 strike.
He also had a 2-run double to left field on another day. Getting some playing time, some consistent playing time again.
Ground ball hit to Escobar, spins around, and there's 1 down.
We got to put a little star next to that one. This is the finest fielding team in the American League. They've only committed 26 errors all season long, and Escobar, he's a magician at shortstop. If he can get to it, he's going to catch it. He says he didn't see that one until the last second. It's hit hard by Goins up the middle. Tricky little hop, he deals with it. He gets his glove on it. It's going to stick in there to record the first out. Nice play.
First major league at bat for Ian Parmley. 60 games in AAA. He hit .289, and first pitch swinging, not wasting any time. 12 doubles, a home run, 20 RBIs, 11 stolen bases, caught just once. And he's wearing the number 10.
Why wait around?
Yeah.
Right? First major league pitch, let it fly.
Parents made the trip from Seattle, Washington on the second pitch and racing down that first base line and just getting beaten by the first baseman Hosmer.
Hosmer, he's not familiar with Ian Parmley. He wasn't real sure if I should flip that ball or try and take it myself. The Gold Glover, this reaction at the end into the dugout, hit right to Hosmer's playing deep, and the youngster hustling all the way just before Hosmer touches the bag.
Well, John Gibbons said he'll add some speed, and you saw it there. Jose Bautista, and a pitch up and in. And as you mentioned, back in the first inning, having Dwight Smith Jr., now Ian Parmley here in a big outfield, certainly beneficial.
Blue Jays are going to have a couple of fly ball pitchers throw in this series. Jay Happ today, Marco Estrada tomorrow, so you better have some speed in that outfield.
Foul back at the count of 2-1 with 2 outs. You really needed it when you were here playing with the AstroTurf.
Oh, I saw a lot of singles get turned into doubles, doubles turned into triples because of the AstroTurf.
You hit it and just skid right to the wall. Wind is blowing left to right. And fouled right back. Now to what would be a very pleasant and cool June evening here in Kansas City. Very low humidity tonight. And in on the hands, looped into shallow right center field, and it falls in. And Bautista, who went the other way back in the top of the first inning, is on board at first base.
Well, see how they score that one. Normally sure-handed in center field. Lorenzo Cain had a shot at that, and he just missed it. He calls off Bonifacio in right field and then misses it. He will be, Bautista will be credited with a base hit. And I think if you ask Lorenzo Cain if he should have caught that, he probably said, I should have. Just missed it.
That brings up Martin. He struck out looking in the top of the first inning. It was a strike him out, throw him out double play as Jake Junis tosses it over to first. You see it just off of the webbing of the glove.
Normally, sure-handed in the outfield, but you know the Blue Jays and Jose will take that.
Absolutely. He's 2 for 2 in his third game back, leading off. Last season was the leadoff hitter 40 times, and the Blue Jays went 25 out of 15. Martin, a line drive off of the glove of Moustakas, and runners at first and second for Josh Donaldson. Martin drives it down the third base line, and Moustakas takes a double away from the catcher.
Well, that would have been an extraordinary play by Moustakas, and it wouldn't have been any fun if you're Russell Martin, but it pops out of his glove because he hit the ball so hard. That play by Moustakas might have saved them a run right there. That ball's going to be rattling down into that corner, possibly giving Bautista a chance to score.
Donaldson is the batter. Struck out swinging in the top of the first inning. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. The shadows really starting to creep out there now towards center field, and so that backdrop isn't as fierce as it was in the first when Donaldson struck out.
Yeah, much nicer, better conditions. Still not perfect,
yep,
but better conditions than the first time Josh was at the plate. Junis has dropped a couple of nice breaking balls on Donaldson here to jump ahead of 0-2.
Bautista at second and Martin at first. They set up outside. Did he go around? Yes, he did. Jays miss a 2-out opportunity. That is the 4th strikeout for the right-hander, Jake Junis, on the breaking ball. Down low and away. Donaldson unable to hold it up.
Perez has won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves, and it's not about receiving the ball or throwing. There's other things that a catcher can do to help his pitcher. Watch him say, okay, fastball in. There's a runner at second base, so just in case Bautista is giving him sign, he's faking like it's a fastball in and up. And if Jose was giving Josh Donaldson the sign, he gave him the wrong one because he checked his swing and it was a breaking ball down and away. Very clever behind the plate, Sal Perez and the Kansas City Royals. 4 consecutive Gold Gloves. First time a Royals won 4 consecutive Gold Gloves since Frank White did it in 77 through 82.
Former second baseman. 184 for Brandon Moss, and a strike is called. And then Escobar and Gordon. Happ has seen 6. And he has shut down 6. And the 7th batter takes a pitch down low, 2 balls and 1 strike.
I'll tell you, Jay's been throwing the ball right where he wants to tonight. Just watch the Strike zone. Pitch cast down on the right there. He's been putting it down and away to lefties. If he wants it down there, Russell Martin's not even moving his glove, and he's hitting it. That's a sign of a guy who's healthy, who can finish his pitches and reach out there and throw the ball where he wants to.
You talked about it in the open of the show, as this one is fouled off to the left side. When you go on the DL, you miss 6 weeks. It's going to take you a little bit of time to get back, and you can tell over the last couple of times out that things are really starting to come around.
His first game against the Reds, he wasn't all the way back. It was his first start in 6 weeks at the major league level. That one's right down the middle.
The Honda Checkered Flag event is back. It's a great time to give your pulse a racing lesson.
One away, the second strikeout for Jay Happ, who had just a sensational 2016 season. He was 20-4. And the first pitch is in there for a strike. He is 2-4 this season. Went winless in his first 5 starts this season. Of course, squeezed in there was at 6 weeks on the DL in the air to right field, and Parmley is there, and there are 2 away, 8 up and 8 down.
As many losses this year as he had all of last year, but you're starting to see good signs from Happ over his last couple of starts. He's now won back-to-back appearances, allowing 3 earned runs, walking just 1 batter, striking out 17. That's 12 2/3 innings of work, so you're starting to see him get some strength. Look like the guy we saw last season when he won 20 games.
34-year-old deals, and the pitch is up and in to Alex Gordon, who is hitting just 188 with 3 home runs and 13 RBIs, the left fielder. Bottom of the 3rd inning in game 1 of a 3-game set. First meeting this season between the Jays and the Royals. And the Royals right now, a team that is playing at a high level. Won 9 of 11. They've outscored their opponents 65-41. And the ball is hit on the ground. Stopped there and over to first base. And a nice play by the Blue Jays as Ryan Goins makes a sliding stop, and it's another 1-2-3. 9 up, 9 down for Jay Happ.
How would you rank the Blue Jays' 40 greatest players? Go to sportsnet.ca to select your top 40 list. Number 1's a given. One man likely on everybody's list, Roy Halladay, being inducted, Matt, into the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame this weekend.
That's right. Along with Vladimir Guerrero. It's Hall of Fame weekend.
A rash.
Baseball Hall of Fame.
A rash. Number one's a given.
Number one's a given. Now here's the thing.
I know who mine is. I wonder if he's on the same page.
I don't know. Kendrys Morales, a former Royal, is in the batter's box, and Jake Junis to the plate, fouled off to the left side. We got into this discussion the other day in Texas.
Don't say my number one, because I'm going to ask a rash.
Okay. You will not say.
At some point.
And we're not going to say the number two, but I have a feeling that your one is not his one. Your
Me too.
I think your two is his one.
I do too.
Breaking ball down low and in. And it ends up hitting him. And Morales is going to take first base. So leadoff batter aboard as Troy Tulowitzki is the hitter. Tulo looking for his second hit of this road trip. Had one in the first game against Texas. Drives this one into the gap at right center field. It'll roll all the way to the wall before Bonifacio scoops it up. Rounding third is Morales. From the cutoff man, the throw at the plate, not in time. And the Blue Jays are on the board in the top of the fourth.
I love that we are seeing the Blue Jays be very aggressive early in the count. We told you that Jake Junis throws a lot of strikes, so the Blue Jays are saying, you know what, we're going to be aggressive. And Tulo picks on the right center field to score the game's first run. How about Kendrys Morales from first base? Another ball out over the plate, and Tulowitzki rips it up the alley in right center field. Morales aggressively scores from first base. Luis Rivera sends him. He was running pretty hard. Picks up his third base coach right there. He's been around these bases a few times.
Dwight Smith Jr. in the air to center field, and Kane is there moving second to third is Tulowitzki. And so now just one away with a runner at third base in Troy Tulowitzki, and here comes Kevin Pillar, who struck out to end the top of the second inning after Dwight Smith Jr. singled to left field and went to second on a balk.
See how the infield plays it. If they are in, we might see the Blue Jays try and drop a bunt down, try and steal a run here.
First pitch misses away, and the infield is in.
Can't really play contact here with this combination.
Did Pillar hold it? He did, according to Joe West. He has umpired more than 5,000 games. The third umpire in Major League history to umpire more than 5,000 games. Tulowitzki with a lead at third, and here's a 2-0 breaking ball down low, and a count of 3-0. Ryan Goins on deck.
Give him the green light right here. 3-0. Guess fastball.
And here it is, and he had it.
Why not? You've got one out. You've got a runner at third base. He's been struggling a little bit. They've been throwing him a lot of breaking balls. Guess fastball. Try and bust out of that slump.
Had a pair of hits yesterday in Texas. Swing and a miss there. And a count of 3 balls and 2 strikes for Kevin Pillar. Let's see where Jake Junis and Sal Perez decide to go here. The 3-2 breaking ball misses. And it's a 1-out walk at runners at the corners for Ryan Goins. So Goins makes his way to the batter's box with Tulowitzki at third and Pillar over at first. Near the top of the fourth inning, Jays pick up a run. Morales hit by a pitch, and then Tulowitzki jumps on first pitch and drives it into right center field and all the way to the wall, and that allowed Morales to score.
And if you're Ryan Goins, be ready to swing on this first pitch.
And the breaking ball gets away from Sal Perez, and Tulowitzki is going to score on the wild pitch. Pilar will go to second.
Be ready to drive him in, but he doesn't give him a chance to drive him in because he's going to bounce another slider in the dirt. Even the Gold Glover can't block that one. Sal Perez, he's a big target back there, but it bounces off his face mask. And bounces far enough away for Tulowitzki to score. Pilar to second base. Blue Jays have something going here in the fourth.
Yes, they do. Jake Junis here in the top of the fourth inning, struggling. And a strike is called as Pilar is at second base with a one away here in the top of the fourth. Last time out, Junis worked 5 1/3 on June 17th in a loss to the Angels. Called strike. It was his first loss of his major league career. He allowed 5 runs, all earned, and a couple of home runs. And as Pat mentioned earlier, that's been an issue. Albert Pujols and Cameron Maybin all went deep, or both went deep against him. And the 1-2 chopped to the right side and played by Merrifield and over to first base. 2 away as Parmley makes his way to the batter's box. Pilar is at third base. And Parmley is second at bat. He was aggressive early in his first major league plate appearance.
Infield will shorten up now after they got a look at Ian Parmley, how fast he can run down that first base line. Got a runner at third base. How about your first big league hit right here and your first big league RBI?
Kane will shade him toward the gap in left center field, and Junis with the break-in ball, and Parmley fouls it away. Was not in big league camp. He did make the trip to Montreal, and John Gibbons said he spent a couple of days with the big league team during spring training, and yes, he did go around. Owen to the count with 2 away here in the top of the fourth inning. Pilar is at third, and Parmley looks at a fastball high, 91 miles an hour. Junis wants to throw a break-in pitch here. The 1-2 grounded to the right side, scooped up and quickly over to first base, and Parmley nearly beats that one out. And that's going to do it, but not before 2 runs scored. Tulowitzki drives in Kendrys Morales, and then Tulowitzki later scores on a wild pitch. Jays lead.
My Blue Jays members log into My Blue Jays and enter the code MBJ8812 to earn My Blue Jays points just for watching the broadcast. The entry box can be found on your My Blue Jays homepage. Code must be entered by 4 a.m. You can look for a new code tomorrow. Tabby, by the way, my #1 Blue Jay is Alomar. I'm assuming yours is not?
It is not.
It is not.
Alomar, Robbie, love it. Love you, Robbie. But you're #2. How about 1A?
Well, no, you said he's #2.
He's #2 in Blue Jays history, because my #1, it's got to be Dave Steep. Dave Steep was the first star of the Blue Jays. First legitimate all-star. Holds all the pitching records, all of that. So he's my #1.
Which is different from
Arash. Which we thought, right?
Right.
It's exactly what we thought.
It'll be interesting when it comes out. I think that most people would think that Arabi would be #1.
Sure. But I'm just going on the whole thing, because I've seen the whole thing.
Yes,
and
you have.
You know, the first legitimate all-star, starting all-star games, you know, ERA leaders and everything. He was the first one.
1 ball, 2 strikes to Merrifield. And the pitch is in. You were speaking about Witt earlier in his first at-bat before he flew out to right field. He's the longest hit streak in the American League this year. And you said he's been somebody that they put in the lineup, and it's like, you know what, I'm going to prove to you I belong here. He had a 19-game hit streak from May 13th to June 4th.
Well, like I said, he didn't make the club out of spring training, and he's been a tough out. They had Alcides Escobar as the leadoff spot in the last couple of years, but he's a free swinger. Whit Merrifield is a little bit more of a patient hitter.
Liner captured by Donaldson.
He's going to be robbed this time, but more patient hitter, sees more pitches, short swing, try to get on base, set the tone for this offense. Josh Donaldson's been doing this for a while, hasn't he?
Yep.
Taking away that hit, looks it right into the glove. And it looks like it almost cuts through that glove.
Merrifield went to the University of South Carolina like Justin Smoke, as that pitch misses high to Bonifacio. Flew out to center field back in the bottom of the first inning, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0. Happ rolling along. He has faced 10 Royals, and he has set down all 10. And that's been very difficult to do against a team that has outscored opponents 65-41 over the last 11 games, hitting collectively at .285, Tabby, and they're averaging nearly 6 runs a game over the last 11. Down the left field line, curving, and it will bounce off of the base of the wall, and a 1-out double for Jorge Bonifacio.
That's where we have seen the greatest improvement of this Royals team over the last month or so. They're starting to hit, and they're starting to score runs. This is going to be their first hit tonight. Looks like a cutter on the inside part of the plate from Happ. Bonifacio rips it down into the corner for extra bases. In the month of June, they've been scoring 2 more runs per game than they did before the calendar flipped to June. They're averaging 3.5 runs. They're averaging about 5.5 runs in the month of June. Ned Yost has to like what he has seen from his hitters over the last couple of weeks.
Ground ball to the right side. Kane will ground out, but that moves Bonifacio over to third. And there are 2 down now. Royals with the 3rd best record in Major League Baseball since June the 10th. Dodgers 11-1, the D-backs 9-1, and then the Royals are 9-2, followed by Cleveland and Texas. This is a sort of outing that the Blue Jays certainly need. starting pitchers in Texas did not get on average to 5 innings. Big bouncer taken by Morales at first. Got him. What a great play as Eric Hosmer dives into first base, but he is out. A high bouncing ball that was played by Morales and then flipped over to Happ. And the Kansas City Royals, everybody's holding up, looking into the dugout. Do they want to challenge the call at first? And Joe West waiting. And they will not challenge it. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Hazel May with Greg Zahn from the Samsung Broadcast Studio.
Morales in 2015 and 16. Ed Yost remembers him for his power, for his ability to make his teammates laugh every day, and for his ability to hit in the clutch, the Royals manager said. Now Morales was reflecting on that KC run to the World Series in 2015. He told me, look, when it's about delivering in the clutch, every time I get in those big moments, I stay aggressive and tell myself the pitcher is the one with the pressure. Morales has delivered in clutch spots as a Blue Jay, now 34 years old. He says, look, you get to a point where you've played enough that you don't think about anything but the pitch coming at you. He said you stay in control. You don't need to get fired up by anything, by even the big situation.
Morales with an 8-game hit streak, hitting .412 during that stretch. Bautista here in the top of the 5th inning swings through it. 2 balls and 1 strike. Bautista, Martin Donaldson. If anybody gets on, the former Royal. Morales lifted high in the air to right center field and moving over his cane, calling off Bonifacio. And for the first time tonight, Bautista records an out as he singled in the 1st and then singled in the 3rd.
I think we're seeing that ball really start to carry to right center field. Kane thought he had a beat on that thing, but then had to drift to the ball as Bautista got it, and it just kept carrying away from him. Remember the ball Bautista hit a couple of innings ago? Fooled Kane in center field.
American flag, Canadian flag, and the Royals flag is really starting to flutter out towards right field.
Get your right field stroke out. Russell Martin hit the ball hard his last time up.
And off of the glove of the 3rd baseman Moustakas. He's 1 for 2. And the breaking ball misses.
We were talking yesterday, trying to decide what John Gibbons was going to do, what he meant by Russell Martin being in there in the 2nd spot. That ball's to right field.
Drifting over is Bonifacio. About 3 steps shy of the line. He catches a 2nd out.
He said that he was going to be in there on Thursday batting 2nd, and we took that he was going to be in there against the left-hander, and then eventually move down in the lineup against the right-hander. But I guess it looks like Russell, lefty or righty, John Gibbons is going to put him in that number 2 hole for a while. See how that works out for the Blue Jays.
Ground ball off of the bat of Donaldson, scooped up by Escobar. Flips it over to first base in a 1-2-3 inning for Jake Junis. As we head now to the home half of the 5th inning, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0.
From Russell Martin, a road trip to a Blue Jays away game. How about a VIP experience at Rogers Center? Rogers wants you to submit your baseball dream at RogersCelebrates.com, and your baseball dream could come true.
Dreams do come true. There's no question about that. As we head to the bottom of the 5th inning, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0. Sal Perez, Mike Moustakas, and Brandon Moss here for Ned Yost Royals. Sal Perez on a Wednesday night hit his first grand slam. The Royals trailed Boston 4-2. They went on to win 6-4 against the Red Sox. The last time Salvador Perez hit a grand slam, it was in AAA Omaha. It was a 9-pitch at bat in the 8th inning. The bases had been walked full. As this one is hit in the air to center field, and Pilar 2 steps over to his left, and there's 1 out here in the bottom of the 5th.
Buy 6 cans of Beauty Tone paint and get the 7th free. Available exclusively at Home Hardware and Building Center locations. Beauty Tone, Canada's color experts.
Little putt-putt going on as Mike Moustakas will be the hitter here in the bottom of the 5th inning. But Sal Perez saw a lot of fastballs in that bat.
9 of them, all fastballs, not 1 slider. Thank you.
That's what Sal said. Now,
thank you.
You know, there's some that believe that one of the reasons why that was the case, because you had Moustakas, right behind him, and they were trying. John Farrell was trying to get through Perez and keep his lefty out on the hill for Moustakas. Did not work out that way, as Perez hit a grand slam. Moustakas has 19 home runs. He is on pace for 43 home runs. See his numbers against Happ. And if that happens, as the pitch is down low and away, still so much of the season left to go, that would break the Royal home run record, which is hard to believe the number. It's 36 in 1985 by
One of my teammates.
former teammate of yours, Steve Bye-Bye Balboni. You played with him in Nashville, Tennessee. Sounds.
36.
In 1985. 36. They're the only team in Major League Baseball that their franchise home run record is not 40 or more.
If you come to this ballpark, you can see why. This is a huge ballpark, and their teams have always been built around speed and defense and pitching, not home run hitters. Now, they've had some home run hitters in their history, maybe one or two, but they aren't like some of those teams that we see night in and night out in the American League East.
Right.
Those big boppers. It's just more about speed, contact, put the ball in play, play great defense, and pitch.
Moustakas awaits the hat pitch. And chopped to the right side, flipped over to first base. And let's check in with Hazel May. How about that? The amount of runs that the Orioles continue to allow.
They're giving up a lot of runs. What did we count now? 18 or 19 games in a row where they've given up at least 5 runs?
19, I believe it is now.
Tough to win ball games when you're out slugging where you have to start at 5.
Well, the Blue Jays understood that over the last 4 games against Texas. Only one of those games did they score first. They're coming from behind all the time. It's a tough way to live. Now, Kansas City, they have 20 of their wins have been come from behind wins, so they have found a way. 35 and 36 overall. Happ with a count of 0-2 and 2 away. And looped toward left field, diving, and Moss has a base hit. And with the shift, there's just no way Donaldson could have been able to catch that.
But what an effort by Josh Donaldson. 2 strikes, 2 outs. His pitcher's only given up 1 hit today. You're going to give it everything you have. That's Josh Donaldson starting at shortstop. Look how far he goes. Remember, he had a knee problem where he sat out yesterday's game. All out dive, trying to come up with that one. That's unfortunate. The shift taketh away and giveth.
Escobar is the batter, flew out to right field back in the 3rd inning. Moss is being held on at first base. Only the 2nd hit allowed by Happ. Happ had retired 10 in a row before giving up a double to Bonifacio. And then retired 4 in a row before that bloop base hit off of the bat of Moss. Hit high in the air, back of home plate. Martin looking for it. Throws his mask to the side, and that's going to do it here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Moss stranded at first. Through 5. Jay Happ, and the Jays lead 2-0.
Baseball Academy will be hosting 11 Honda Super Camps all across Canada. You can learn techniques from former Blue Jays such as Roberto Alomar, Lloyd Moseby, Jesse Barfield, and Dwayne Ward. You can register now at bluejays.com/camps.
Beautiful scene here in Kansas City, Kauffman Stadium, as Kendrys Morales makes his way to the plate. 0 for 1, hit by a pitch and scored off of the double by Tulowitzki. That was in the top of the 4th inning. Jake Junis has worked 5 hits, and both of the runs scored earned. Laz Diaz calls a strike.
Something to keep an eye on now as we get into the 6th inning. He's getting deeper into the ball game. He starts to lose velocity later in the ball game. That's where he's been giving up a lot of his home runs. Morales is going to be an easy out, 3-1. But as velocity starts to drop and the balls that were just fly balls early in the game start going out of the ballpark. So we'll watch that as he starts the 6th inning.
Troy Tulowitzki with his 2nd hit on this road trip in the top of the 4th inning when he doubled all the way to the wall into right center field, his 16th RBI on the season, as the right-hander Junis looks in, works out of the windup here. Kane, the center fielder, plays Tulowitzki toward the gap at the right field. Fastball poured in for a strike at 91.
He's pitched a good game. He has been ahead of the hitters tonight. He's had a good breaking ball. Here's another good slider.
'24-year-old rocks and deals and hits softly to Merrifield and over to first base, and there are 2 down here in the top of the 6th inning.
Well, we were just talking about Ned Yost probably sees the drop in velocity too, so he has got Scott Alexander up now after that first batter was hitting Morales. Ned Yost knows that as Junis get closer to his pitch count, the velocity starts to drop, and that's when he gets into trouble, so he wanted to head off that problem before he got there.
Dwight Smith Jr. looks at a strike. Royals this season are 19-17 at home, 16-19 away. They average less runs a game at home. They've hit 20 fewer home runs, and a lot of that's due to the ballpark, as Tabby mentioned before, and their ERA a lot better here at home, 3.81, and opponents hitting .245 here. They've won 4 of their last 6 at home. Down 2-0 here. Junis to Dwight Smith Jr. and it's strike.
It's always been a very good pitcher's ballpark because of the gaps in left center field, right center field, even center field. If you're a fly ball pitcher, you don't need to worry pitching in this ballpark. Fly balls that in some of these smaller ballparks that the Blue Jays see night in and night out in the American League East, where they're home runs, here they're just outs. So you can be a little bit more aggressive with your fastball in this ballpark.
Ground ball right back through the middle, and a great piece of hitting by Dwight Smith Jr. And he has a pair of hits here. Another 2-out single for Dwight Smith Jr. off of Jake Junis, who is seeing the Blue Jays for the very first time in his career, the rookie.
Another breaking ball, and Smith stays on that one, doesn't give any ground, takes it right back where it came from. Now this could be very interesting with 2 outs. See if they try and get a runner in scoring position for Kevin Pillar. You got Sal Perez behind the plate. He's already caught one Blue Jay tonight.
Pillar walked and was stranded at third last time up, struck out in the top of the 2nd inning, hitting .252 after picking up a couple of base hits yesterday. He was 2 for 4 in the day game in Texas yesterday. Pilar awaits, and Junis to the plate and clubbed into center field. Kane drifting back underneath it, and that's going to do it in the top of the 6th inning. 5.5, and the Blue Jays lead 2-0. Tabby, the WestJet Blue Jays fan flyaway contest is on right now. Enter for your chance to cheer on the Blue Jays in New York City with WestJet. Go to bluejays.com/WestJet contest to enter. Jay Happ has allowed just 2 hits here on this Friday night.
He has pitched ahead. He has been aggressive with his fastball. He's been able to throw the pitch where he needs to work through those 5 innings. And he's done it on just 67 pitches. He hasn't walked anybody, and he just has 2 strikeouts. Just 2 strikeouts has kept that pitch count in good shape.
Alex Gordon is the batter. Happ winds and deals, and the fastball misses down low and away. He is facing what has turned into a very potent offense. And a swing and a miss.
That's that fastball, excuse me, Matty, that is up, that hitters look at it. It's so inviting, but they can't catch up to it against Jay Happ. Jay's faced the Royals 4 times. He's had a career ERA of almost 6, but he hasn't faced them in the regular season since 2014. This is a different Jay Happ than the one the last time that the Royals faced in 2014. He works quicker. He's got better fastball command. He splits his changeup. He's got a better changeup. He can turn his fastball over. He can cut it. And tonight he's throwing the ball where he needs to.
You go back to 2014, the last time he faced him, he worked 7 2/3, allowed 6 runs, home runs to Alex Gordon, who's at the plate, as well as Lorenzo Cain. And here's the 3-2. Hit in the air to left center field. Pilar is going to call off Smith Jr. And there's one down here in the home half of the 6th.
Drive home in the all-new 2017 CR-V. Always a fun way to end the game. Honda, proud fan since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays. Great
history here in Kansas City. World Series as recently as 2015, and of course lost in 2014 last season. Missed out on the postseason. They were 81 and 81. And it's fouled off to the right side. The batter, Merrifield.
It's a magical season for him in 2015. Blue Jays aren't real happy about it.
Now losing in the ALCS in 6 games. They were 95 and 67. Best team in the AL Central. And Happ to the plate. And the pitch misses. You know, this is an impressive outing by Jay Happ considering what Kansas City has done. They have the best record in the American League in June. They're 13-6. They own a winning record against Boston, Cleveland, and the Houston Astros.
Some of the heavyweights in the American League. And in Kansas City has been putting it to them. 9-2. They're starting to pitch and they're starting to hit. When you score 6 runs a game like the Royals have been doing, you're going to win a lot of games. And they've turned up the home run heat, 21 home runs over those last 11 games. So you're right, what Jay Happ has been doing tonight against this team, a team that's been really hitting the baseball. It's been impressive.
Pitch down and in. Merrifield awaits and he waves at it. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Right-hander getting warm in the bullpen. Bottom of the 6th inning. And Happ misses high. Down to 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Got to challenge him. Merrifield's got 6 home runs in 203 at bats, but you got to challenge him.
Got him. He thought he was going to get a free ride to first base. Instead, he strikes out looking. That is the 3rd strikeout by Jay Happ. And there are 2 down.
And it's a great pitch. He does challenge him. Looks like he cut the ball just a little bit. Merrifield thinks it's up and in. But when you're pounding the strike zone like Jay Happ is tonight, frequently, all the time, you're going to get those borderline pitches. And that one was right on the inside corner. Another big out for the Blue Jays.
Big swing and a miss by Bonifacio, who doubled back in the 4th inning. Was stranded at 3rd base. The 0-1 on its way and fouled off to the right side, and quickly now 0-2. Happ his first 5 starts 0-4 with a 5.33 ERA, and over his last 2, 2-0 with a 2.13. Fastball up. First 5 starts, allowed 8 home runs, hasn't allowed 1 of the last 2.
He works hard in between his starts. You can always see him working out, lifting weights, doing all his prep work for each one of his starts.
The 1-2, got him. Fastball burns that outside corner. Merrifield goes down looking, and then Bonifacio goes down as well. It's another 1-2-3 put together by Jay Happ in the bottom of the 6th as we travel to the 7th.
MLB.TV Premium is back and better than ever. You can watch every out-of-market regular season game live on over 400 supported devices. Plus, get a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV for details. If you're watching tonight, you would have seen David Ortiz get his number 34 retired in Boston, the 10th Red Sox player to have that honor bestowed upon them. Matt?
It's a great app. Watch every game. And how about how quick his number was retired in Boston? Today on the MLB network, I was listening to a couple of people, and they said that the average time before your uniform number is retired, this by all teams in Major League Baseball throughout history, was 26 years.
And David Ortiz is about 8 months.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
Shows you what they thought of him or think of him.
Yes.
26 years.
20,
but that's everybody, right?
Yes. Yeah, that's everybody.
I want to know.
And you have to remember, too, that at one time in the game, there were no numbers, right? So numbers when it came out, Babe Ruth 3, Lou Gehrig 4. It's where they hit in the order. And their numbers didn't get retired till well after they retired. Babe Ruth went on to play for the Boston Braves and Brooklyn Dodgers, or number 35 actually with the Dodgers.
I want to know these teams that are retiring all these numbers, they're going to run out of numbers.
Well, you look at the New York Yankees, right? I mean, Aaron Judge wears 99. And you know this, as Goins heads down the first base line. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of Rogers Blue Jays Baseball Partnership.
Can you eat that right there?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's easy. That's easy.
Gotta
with the fries.
Got a bunt, don't we?
Yep. Parmley squares the bunt.
Leadoff walk. Blue Jays got to cash this run in. Junis is starting to lose it. You can see it. His fastball doesn't have the crispness that we saw earlier in the game. The breaking ball doesn't have it, and his command's been a little bit off as he walks the leadoff batter. So the Blue Jays have to bunt this run in.
And it's bunted right in front of home plate, and Perez with just one play to make. And Parmley a sack bunt, and Goins down to second base, and a nice piece of handling the bat by Parmley.
That was beautiful. That was a tremendous as the pitching change is going to come. That was a perfect bunt by Ian Parmley. Doing a bit of everything to help your team win as in his first major league game. Executes that bunt perfectly.
Jake Junis works 6 1/3, and Peter Moylan comes in for the Kansas City Royals, and he'll face Jose Bautista. Moylan makes his 33rd appearance. He'll see Bautista here with 1 out and a runner at second. That's Goins.
See those numbers right there? A .665 earned run average in 23 innings in 32 games for Peter Moylan. Throw those out the door when he faces the Blue Jays. This guy has been Superman in his career versus the Toronto Blue Jays. He's faced them 8 times. They're hitting .056 against them. He hasn't given up a run to the Blue Jays. In fact, he's only given up 1 base hit. I think Ned Yost knows that, and that's why he brought him in here in this tough situation with a runner at second base and just 1 out.
Pitch misses outside, and the right-hander didn't work against Boston. Last time he saw action was Sunday in Anaheim when he worked a scoreless 7th inning. And a swing and a miss that time by Jose.
One of the reasons he has had success against the Blue Jays, he's got that funky windup, and he throws it sidearm, and his slider breaks big time. Inherited runner's efficiency, not bad, but against righties, it just sweeps right away from him.
Misses outside.
You have to be very patient against him. Make him bring it in. You got to make sure he's throwing that breaking ball for strikes.
Ranks 4th in the American League, having been saddled with 26 inherited runners. He has stranded nearly 85% of them, tying him for 7th in the AL. Bautista waves at it, 78 miles an hour.
There's the sweeper right there. When you're facing pitchers like this, if you're the hitter, you got to pick one side of the plate. You can't cover both of them. You can't cover the inside part or the outside part. So pick one side of the plate. That time he throws that slider down and away, and Jose is way out in front against it.
See if Russell Martin can do some damage here with 2 outs and a runner in scoring position. And first pitch is a strike. Martin 1 for 3 here on the evening in game 1 of this 3-game set. And the pitch misses. Runners in scoring position, it's been an issue driving them in for the Jays. They stranded 9 a couple of times in Texas. Yesterday they stranded 7 in the loss. Goins leadoff walk. He's now at second after the Parmley sack bunt, and there's strike 2.
Russell thought that ball was upstairs. Against a pitcher like Moylan, you almost have to cut the field in half and say, you know what, I'm not going to hit it to the left side of the field. I'm going to really stay on the ball and just try and hit the ball to right field. If you pull it, it's almost by accident.
They set him up outside. He lays off of it.
And what that does is it helps you to stay on that sweeping slider if you're a right-handed batter. This is like facing Joe Smith of the Blue Jays.
Martin over the last 8 games hitting .261 with a pair of homers. And the breaking ball misses again. 80 miles an hour. And a count of 3 balls, 2 strikes. Martin choking up on the handle of the bat.
Trying to get a little bit more leverage and back control. He wants to pick this run up.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Goins at second. And it's a walk. So great patience by Russell Martin. And runners at first and second for Josh Donaldson, who is 0 for the evening.
That was a good approach right there by Russell Martin against Peter Moylan. And I think Josh Donaldson has to have the same type of approach. He did that in the playoffs against the Cleveland Indians. Had a great playoff in the ALCS. And a lot of his hits were to right center field. They threw him a lot of breaking balls. Right-handed pitchers threw him a lot of breaking balls. And he said, I'm going to stay on that ball and I'm going to try and drive that ball to right field.
Pitch misses in tight. Over the last 10 games against Kansas City, Donaldson hitting .343 with 4 home runs and 11 RBIs. Goins is at second here in the top of the 7th. Martin's at first. Outfield straight away for Donaldson. Moylan comes set and deals, and the pitch misses, and a count now at 2-0. Wind dying down out towards right field. Jays have 2 runs on 6 hits. 2 away here. Moylan in relief. And there's a strike.
Even when you're ahead in the count, it's best to stay with your same approach. Stay on that ball. Pick one side of the plate and then let it fly.
Strike 2. He went back with 2 fastballs after missing with the breaking pitches.
So what does that tell you? That the approach at the plate for Josh, he's looking slider. He is sitting on that slider right now.
Let's see if it pays off here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs.
Oh, he got it.
Off, yeah.
He got it, and it was out over the plate. He's talking to himself right now, saying, okay, I missed that one. Throw me that again. He will go up there with a plan, a game plan of what he wants to do against hitters or pitchers. And right now he's thinking about slider. Ball from Moylan.
Moylan checks on Goins. Got him. Donaldson strikes out in the top of the 7th. Comes to an end as the Jays strand 2.
Stadium tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow evening, David Price gets the ball at Fenway. Red Sox host the Angels in Game 2 of that series. 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific. To finish the story on David Ortiz, guys, he wears 34 in large part as a tribute to the late Kirby Puckett. Of course, Ortiz began his career in Minnesota. Surprising Ortiz at the ceremony today at Fenway, Kirby Puckett's children that got Poppy a little emotional.
Can imagine. We're talking about the list of the greatest Blue Jays of all time, and there was much debate about who was the greatest Red Sox of all time today in Boston. And the word impact was used quite a bit regarding David Ortiz, that while most people believe, and rightfully so, Ted Williams is the greatest Red Sox of all time, that some people feel that David Ortiz is the most impactful of all time. Lorenzo Cain is the batter.
How about top 5? No?
Yeah. Oh, well, that's
Somewhere in the top 5?
There's some great play. I mean, don't forget about Babe Ruth.
Yeah. I think Cy Young pitched for them.
Yeah.
I think. Carl Yastrzemski. Jim Rice.
Fisk.
Pudge.
Evans.
Top 5 is pretty good.
Freddie Lynn.
You can then put them in any order that you want to. We'll put them in the top 5 of all time.
Happ working into the 7th inning. And a line drive over the outstretched arm. And Tulowitzki and Kane racing to second. And he's safe. Lorenzo Kane using that speed and getting into second base.
Last season, Lorenzo Kane hit .371 versus lefties, second in all of the major leagues. And when he hits a ball hard, you got to hustle over there, cut it off, and get the ball in, because he's not thinking 1, he's thinking 2. An aggressive slide into second base. He turns a single into a double.
Keeps his foot on the bag.
Gets the crowd into the ball game. .371 last year against left-handed pitching.
Here's Hosmer. Entered the night 8th in the American League, hitting .305. And tied for 8th in hits. Hosmer 0 for 2, struck out in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th. Lefty comes set. Looks at Kane. And the pitch to Hosmer is fouled off.
This is another batter who's been swinging a hot stick for the Kansas City Royals. Since May the 1st, .344 batting average, and now you've got Barnes and Luke up for the Blue Jays after that leadoff double. I think you have to stay in on the hands of Eric Hosmer. And up. He will swing at that pitch that's up.
Most games with a hit this season as a pitch is swung on down and in. Hosmer is 4th with 54 games. He has collected a base hit. Corey Dickerson 56 leads the way. Starlin Castro also has 56, and Jose Altuve with 55 games in which he has collected a base hit. And the pitch down low and away. Blue Jays lead 2-0 here in the bottom of the 7th inning. The crowd trying to get into it here on a Friday night. Standing room only crowd. They love their baseball in Kansas City. Hosmer remains in the batter's box. Kane's at second, and Happ delivers, fouled right back.
It's just a little bit off balance on that fastball up and in. I think you got to stay firm there. He can take that ball the other way. He's been hitting the ball with a little bit more authority to left field and center field. So stay hard up and in.
He's hitting .310 against left-handers this season. That's second best among American League left-handed batters behind Corey Dickerson, who's hitting .351. Chop foul. Leadoff double. Kane. He's at second base. Only 3 hits that Happ has allowed here. Working into the 7th inning.
How about this leadership right here from Russell Martin? He picked something up right here with Lorenzo Kane out there at second base. So he has gone out to talk to Jay to discuss what they want to do with Hosmer. You see that more and more nowadays with all the television and ability to steal signs, cameras everywhere. So Russell goes out there to talk to Jay, and he's not giving him the sign. He told him verbally what he wants to do here.
The 1-2 just misses in. And the count now 2 balls and 2 strikes. 38,848 here on this Friday night. The 2-2. Count remains 2-2 now. Last time out against Chicago, Jay Happ worked 6 2/3. Working into the 7th again. Lefty to the plate. Ground ball. Second baseman Goins. And his 5th error. Now runners at first and third as Goins misplays it. He forward.
Normally the sure-handed at second base. He knows that Hosmer can really run, but he had a little bit more time than he thought. Hosmer didn't get out of the box very well. It will go as an error for Goins, his 5th of the season, and now they got to deal with Sal Perez, who now represents the go-ahead run here in the 7th inning, and look what he has done in the month of June.
Second best at 386. We were talking earlier how this offense has really heated up and generated a bundle of runs over the last 11 games, and it's ripped into left field. Coming on is Dwight Smith Jr. unable to make the catch. And scoring from third is Lorenzo Cain. It's 2-1 now.
That double by Cain to open up the inning here has ignited the fans and got them back in their seats. Jay Happ was shutting them down and they were sitting on their hands. That double ignited them. The error and now the single has got them fired up. This is almost an outstanding play by Smith. He goes out there, it's right off the top of his glove. It probably would have been a sacrifice fly. Cain's got enough speed that he could have gotten back there to tag up, but when the ball falls off of his glove, it goes as a single. Cain comes around to score. Dwight Smith with his speed gets to the baseball, but he can't corral it. And the Royals have a run in, a couple of runners on, and still nobody out.
And sinking liner drives in their first run of the night. Perez at first. Hosmer at second. He reached base by an error, and Mike Moustakas. 19 home runs, tied for 5th in the American League in home runs. And he looks at a first pitch strike.
Yeah, he's turned on the power this year, and he's got that batting average up at very respectable 274. He's not afraid to flip a ball the other way if he feels that pitchers are trying to pitch him the outside.
Fouled off quickly 0-2, and Donaldson, even with the bag at third, will now back up.
Jay needs a strikeout here. Strikeout or a ground ball where they can turn 2.
Moss is on deck. That's Moose, not Booze. Moose. The 0-2. Low. And the count of 1-2. Leadoff double. Hosmer reaches on an error by Goins, and then Perez. A line drive into left field, scoring Cain. Driven foul, and the count 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Not much he can do with that pitch. Right in on his hands. The only thing he can do is pull it foul. Pretty good numbers 7th inning or later for Moose Stakas.
325, 8 home runs.
You mentioned they've had 20 come from behind wins this year.
Stakas has a hit in 18 of the last 20 games. High in the air, Donaldson underneath it. And there's 1 down, and now how sweet would that double play ball be? On the way here in the bottom of the 7th inning. Moss, designated hitter. One of the reasons why they put him into the lineup is he is 8 for 18 with 2 home runs against lefties this season. Had a base hit last time up against the shift, and that pitch misses. He is a lifetime .249 hitter against lefties is Moss. But this season 8 for 18 entering tonight.
He blooped an 0-2 pitch down the left field line for that base hit. Now with a couple of runners on base, Donaldson is not playing at shortstop, playing more as third base.
Tulowitzki on the second base side of the bag, and he's in conversation with Goins.
Well, that conversation is about a couple of things. First of all, he told Jay Happ, come backer, I've got second base, give the ball to me. That next one was, hey Brian, if you get a ground ball, let me get to the bag first of all, because he's got to be the double play man.
Strike 2 with a fastball. 93 miles an hour.
Yeah, he's lost nothing. Nothing. His fastball's still good.
Jay trying to work out of this jam with 1 away in the bottom of the 7th inning. Tying run, potential tying run at second. Got him. Strikes out Moss. And here comes John Gibbons.
Told you he hasn't lost anything on his fastball. Puts that one where he wants it for a big out, his 5th out. And Gibby's already made up his mind. He wants right-handed pitcher versus right-handed batter. You can see Jay was upset with himself, but he did his job. He got his team into the 7th inning with the lead. Great job tonight from Jay Happ.
6 2/3 innings, and we'll be back right after this.
Color Grand Prix goes Sunday at 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific. We'll see what James Hinchcliffe can do there. As a year ago, he had that unlucky incident during qualifying. James Hinchcliffe in the Kohler Indy Grand Prix, 12:30 Eastern, 9:30 Pacific on Sportsnet 360.
Danny Barnes into the ball game for the 25th time this season. Danny's 1-2 with a .230 earned run average. John Gibbons wants that right-hander versus the right-hander Escobar. Barnes has done a sensational job. He's thrown a lot of strikes this year. He's only walked 9 batters. And Escobar is probably happy that Jay Happ is out of the ball game. He's only 1 for 17 in his career versus Jay. He's never faced Danny Barnes.
First pitch from Barnes is high. Escobar flew out to right field in the 3rd and popped out in the 5th. And what a great outing by Jay Happ. The best by a starter on this road trip.
Got his team into the 7th inning with the lead. Job well done, young man.
Left up to this bullpen, and the bullpen has been strong. Over the last 16 games, Blue Jay relievers are 4-0 with a 2.62 ERA, and opponents are hitting 174 against the bullpen.
When they get their rest and they don't have to work day after day after day, this bullpen can get outs and they can get strikeouts.
Fastball rides up and in.
You mentioned that series down in Texas that the Blue Jays just played. Their starters averaged less than 5 innings in those 4 games, so the bullpen has had a lot of work lately.
Hosmer with the lead at second. Perez at first, 2 down, and here's the 2-1 pitch. They count 2-2. There are the numbers.
Outstanding.
Yep.
In Texas. ERA 2.25.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Fouled off to the right side. When you see those numbers, Tabby, and if you just saw the numbers, you'd say the Jays split that series. I mean,
when you look at the starters stuff,
correct.
you know.
Correct. When you look at the starters.
It was the bullpen. What did they get? 14 in a row at one point that first game that they came back and won. They didn't give up a hit after the starter got knocked out early. Jay Happ pacing right now, and he needs Danny Barnes to come through for him.
Barnes hunched over at the waist, has the sign now from Martin. 2 on, 2 out, and the 2-2 hit in the air center field, and Pilar's there. And the Royals strand 2, but they do pick up 1 run after a leadoff double off of the bat of Kane, and Perez with a base hit single. We head now to the 8th.
Every Friday this summer, you can join on the outdoor patio at gates 10 and 11 outside Rogers Center for a pregame concert. You see the lineup there, July 7th, 28th, August 11th, and August 25th. The patio opens at 4:30 for Friday Fan Festivals presented by Bacardi. Get your tickets at BlueJays.com.
Scott Alexander, left-hander, comes on. That'll turn Morales around to the right side.
Alexander was the Royals' 6th-round draft pick back in 2010. He's got a two-seam fastball, a little tight little slider where he can pick up some strikeouts. He's averaging almost a strikeout an inning. Good feel for his changeup, and he brought that 4-seam fastball back. He spent some time on the disabled list this season already. Missed nearly a month with a right hamstring strain. Comes out of the bullpen to face Morales, Tulowitzki, and Smith here in the 8th.
Pitch down and away. Anders Morales hit by a pitch back in the 4th inning. And it was the first run of the game for the Blue Jays after the double by Tulowitzki. Morales 8-game hit streak in tow, hitting better than 400, 3 home runs and 9 RBIs. And chop to Escobar. And there's one away here in the top half of the 8th inning. Drive of the Game is brought to you by Honda. Proud fans since 1977 and the official vehicle of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Blue Jays haven't hit a home run tonight, but they do have a double thanks to Troy Tulowitzki. After Morales was hit by a pitch in the 4th inning, Tulo drives the first pitch he sees into the gap into right center field. Here comes Morales. He's going to come all the way around to score the first run of the game for the Blue Jays. And Troy Tulowitzki has tonight's drive of the game. Got to do that again. Need an extra base hit. Blue Jays got to get that run back they just gave up.
Jake Junis, the rookie, worked 6 1/3. There's a strike. Allowed 6 hits, 2 runs, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, and then Moreland came in and worked 2/3 of an inning. Walked the batter and struck out 2. Scott Alexander, the 3rd pitcher used tonight by Ned Yost. And he's ahead in the count against Tulowitzki. Dwight Smith Jr. waits on deck. If anybody gets on, it's Kevin Pillar. Tulo waits the 1-2 and chopped. The shortstop Escobar racing in and unable to make a play on it. And it's going to be a base hit, infield base hit for Troy Tulowitzki, his 2nd hit of the game.
Escobar was playing deep at shortstop, had a long way to go as that ball bounced right off of the plate. Would have been a bang bang play if he came up with that one. So Tulowitzki will have his 2nd hit.
Tulowitzki over at first base. And the batter is Dwight Smith Jr. He has a pair of base hits and a fastball up and in. Singled in the 2nd and singled in the 6th.
But Dwight's going to find out now that is in the big leagues. He's getting some playing time. That starter might have good stuff. They go to the bullpen late in games. The bullpen's got some flamethrowers. Everybody. Here's a lefty throwing 93 at him.
Hits the outside corner. 1-1 is the count.
I don't know how many times he faced lefties late in ball games where they're coming out throwing 93, 94.
Tulo's at first. He has his 2nd 2-hit game over the last 10 games as Smith has that one get through the infield into right field, and runners at 2nd and 3rd now. A high bouncing ball over Hosmer.
Well, what he has shown, he can hit.
Yeah. He can hit lefties.
His third hit of the night. Pounds this ball into the dirt, but it's over the head of Hosmer because he's holding Tulowitzki on. Tulo jogs into third base on the double by Smith. That away, young man. He almost came up with that great play in the outfield last inning, and he's got himself 3 knocks.
Second 3-hit game back on June 14th against Tampa Bay. That 7-6 win, he was 3 for 4. So runners at second and third, and Pilar is the hitter, and he looks at a pitch away. Infield is in, and a big at bat here for Kevin Pilar. Tulowitzki at third, Smith Jr. at second, and a swing and a miss.
That's what he wasn't doing earlier this year, swinging at those balls out of the strike zone. He's very patient, making that pitcher come to him. Got the infield in. You don't have to hit that ball hard by him. Just get it into the outfield somehow.
Fans at it, and he's now down in the count. Morales grounded out to start the top of the 8th, and then Tulowitzki infield base hit. Smith Jr. a double. Infield is in, and a 2-strike pitch, and bouncing ball played by the second baseman Merrifield, that he throws over to first base, and Pilar is out.
You know, if they had a little bit more speed at third base, they probably would have used the contact play. Dwight Smith is at second base. He thought Tulo was going, and he was halfway to third base when Merrifield fielded that ball. Watch him at the top of your screen. He goes assuming that Tulowitzki was going, but the Blue Jays were playing that through, and I think that was the correct way to play it. Make the ball go through.
And looks like Dwight Barney is going to hit for Goins here. Barney, if Donaldson, if he couldn't play this evening, he was going to start at third.
Well, there's nobody warming up in the bullpen for Kansas City. So the left-hander has to face Darwin Barney. What they will probably do, what I would do, is I would walk him and face the rookie lefty on deck. You've got first base open. I wouldn't even take my chances of uncorking a wild pitch or a bloop base hit.
Steve Pearce is available to pinch hit, and see if it comes to that. Potentially,
then he would have to play defense,
and he would, yes.
So you have to decide. You have to choose.
So here's Darwin Barney, a pinch hitter, and then he'll play second base. Hitting .225. Tulowitzki at third, and Dwight Smith Jr. at second. Base hit here could lead to 2 runs with the speed at second base.
Easily. Anything into the outfield. Even a line drive, 1 hop to the outfield, that's going to score Dwight Smith. He can really run.
Ground ball. Escobar plays it, fires over to first base, and Barney is out by half a step, and the Blue Jays strand 2. Time now for a Blue Jays Central update. Here's Hazel and Greg Zahn from the Samsung broadcast studio.
need your help to smoke the vote and send Justin Smoke to the All-Star game. You can vote up to 5 times daily. Head to bluejays.com/vote before June 29th to help get Justin Smoke into the Midsummer Classic. Matt.
He's so deserving. He comes on to play defense here in the bottom of the 8th inning. And Darwin Barney, who was a pinch hitter for Goins, will take over at second base. Alex Gordon is the hitter, and Barnes pours in a strike. Gordon hitless, grounded out in the 3rd, and flew out to center field in the 6th. That was against Jay Happ. Happ worked 6 2/3, 4 hits, a run. It was earned. Didn't walk a Royal, and he struck out 5. And a pitch just a little bit low.
Ooh, that was a good pitch.
Tabby wanted that one, as did Russell Martin, who's having a quick conversation with Laz Diaz.
Right where he wanted it. He put his glove right there, and Barnesy hit it.
And fouled off, and the count now 2-2.
Not afraid to throw his changeup to the lefties at any time. He's been working on trying to get the slider back that he threw in college, just to give the hitters a little something extra to think about.
2-2.
His bread and butter pitch, though, is his fastball. He can go upstairs to get outs with it, or he can paint down and away with it, and then drop that changeup on you. You might see it here, 2-2.
Got him swinging.
That was it. That was a high changeup, but it floated up there just enough to mess up the timing of Alex Gordon. Remember, he threw the fastball the previous pitch, and then the high changeup to pick up the strikeout.
27-year-old Manhasset, New York, out on Long Island. Spent 3 years pitching in the Ivy League. Princeton. Merrifield fouls it off. He's hitless tonight. Royals held scoreless through the first 6 innings by an outstanding performance from Jay Happ. They tacked a run on in the bottom of the 7th inning after a leadoff double by Lorenzo Cain. And this one hit into the gap. Coming over is Smith Jr. and unable to make the play. Merrifield heads into second. 1 out and a runner in scoring position. A potential tying run.
You know, we have seen some closing speed out there from Dwight Smith. I think that one got in the lights because he was there ready to make the catch. You can see him looking up at the lights. There he is right there. He just lost it. And I'm sure that bank of lights, his reaction after he missed that ball as it bounced away from him, tells me that it just didn't come out of the lights for him, because he's there ready to make the catch.
And Pilar backing up on the play. You see Dwight Smith Jr. sliding towards it.
Anytime you see an outfielder unsure like that, where there's not full extension with the gloved hand to go out and actually catch the ball, you're just hoping that it comes out of that bank of lights.
First time that he has played here in Kansas City. Merrifield is at second base with a double. And Bonifacio is the hitter after the conversation from Pete Walker. Ryan Tepera warming up in the bullpen. And Barnes deals in a big swing and a miss by Bonifacio.
He can get that fastball up there and get outs up in the strike zone.
Bonifacio had a double back in the fourth, and he looks at strike two from Danny Barnes. An offense that has been stymied tonight by the pitching of Blue Jays. And the 0-2 on its way, just off the plate. And as we mentioned a couple of times, this is a team that 20 of their wins this season, 20 of the 35 have been come from behind victories. Currently third in the AL Central behind Cleveland and Minnesota. 4 games back of the Indians. Merrifield at second, and that one fouled off.
Teams will go over their scouting reports for these situations right here. Tying run at second base. What pitch can we go to get an out?
1-2.
It looks like they want to keep feeding him fastballs. He struck out his last time up on a fastball by Jay Happ, crossed him up to a fastball right down the middle. So that looks like the plan, that they want to keep pumping that fastball in there.
Fastball up and in. Backs Bonifacio off the plate. And the count 2-2. Kane on deck. The 2-2. And fastball misses high.
Okay, so they've thrown him all fastballs in this at bat. Struck him out last time with fastballs. Danny Barnes isn't afraid to use his changeup 3-2. Did he change up and throw a changeup?
Fastball in, popped him up. Martin underneath it, and there are 2 down. They stick with the fastball.
Well, like I said, you've got game plans. John Gibbons is out, and he's going to make another pitching change, but you've got game plans for those situations against those types of hitters. This is what I want to do. This is the matchup I want. Danny Barnes won that one by pumping the fastball in there.
And so John Gibbons will take the baseball from Danny Barnes, and the third pitcher tonight for the Jays will come in from the bullpen, and we'll take a timeout with 2 away here in the bottom of the 8th. Tampa checks in for the Blue Jays, and he'll inherit the potential tying run with Merrifield at second.
Ryan last worked in Wednesday's Blue Jays win against the Texas Rangers. A perfect ninth, 1-2-3 with a strikeout against the Rangers. 32nd time that Tepera is working. He's got a great slider, and I think that's why John Gibbons held off Tepera for Kane. Kane is an excellent clutch hitter and a good fastball hitter. Tepera's got some nasty stuff, and I don't think he wanted to show him Tepera before this at bat, because this is a key at bat.
Big swing and a miss by Lorenzo Cain.
Tepera has faced one Kansas City Royal in his career, and that was Sal Perez. So they don't know that much about him. The only thing they know about him is what they have seen on tape. So John Gibbons waits for 2 outs. Tough situation, maybe their toughest hitter to bring in Tepera.
The 0-1, and the pitch dips down and in. Smoke well off of the bag at first. Darwin Barney positioned toward the second base bag. Tulowitzki, as you would expect, deep and short. And Ryan Tepera with a count of 1-1 now to Lorenzo Cain, who has scored the only run thus far for the Royals, and that pitch just misses in tight. 95 miles an hour in the count of 2-1.
Pretty nasty stuff. He likes the ball out over the plate. Gibby wanted that one. He's letting Laz Diaz know it.
Very familiar with Kansas City. Of course, was a bench coach here for 3 seasons. Tepera back looking at second, and this one lifted into the air, and it is curving foul and out of play, and the count of 2 balls and 2 strikes. Harmley along with Darwin Barney and Justin Smoke all giving chase. It was out of play. You see the last 22 appearances. A tremendous ERA, and now they're going to get together here to decide what exactly they want to do with Cain.
That second baseman's been out, or excuse me, the runner has been out at second base a long time. Peering in on those signs. So Russell Martin said, you know what, let's just change things up a little bit here, verbalize what we want to do now with 2 strikes to King.
Cain awaits a 2-2. Got him swinging. Fastball up. And the Blue Jays get out of the jam here, leaving the potential tying run at second. Through
Jays on Sportsnet. Presented by the all-new 2017 Honda Rebel. Live your life. Love your ride.
Joakim Soria comes in, the right-hander, taking over for Scott Alexander.
10 years in the big leagues for Soria. He was a closer. Now he's a setup man for the Kansas City Royals. Still has that natural cutting action on that fastball. He has just eaten up righties. Look what the right-handers have done against him. Just 193. But the lefties, and Blue Jays have a lefty leading off in Parmalee, hitting 310.
Misses. They got it. Yeah, late. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, here's some news for you. Blue Jays have the lead in the 9th inning, and Roberto Osuna is sitting on the bench next to Joe Biagini. He's not out in the bullpen, and he's not getting loose.
See what that's about. Osuna did not work yesterday. He worked an inning on Wednesday.
That is news. That looks like Ryan Tepera. Hey, this is your game.
Osuna worked on a Monday night as Parmalee goes down swinging. And that's going to bring up Bautista, who's got 2 hits here tonight. Bautista, 227, 12 homers, 31 RBIs. And the breaking ball is a strike. Due up in the bottom of the 9th inning, it's Hosmer, Perez, and Moustakas. They won a game late on Wednesday. Ground ball through the right side for Bautista. That is his 3rd hit of the night. 2 of them to right field and 1 back through the middle to center.
That'll straighten out that shift that Jose sees night in and night out. Just slap that ball the other way. You might start seeing Whit Merrifield, the second baseman, straighten up now. Jose has picked on that right side of the infield a couple of times tonight.
Here comes Russell Martin. And on Wednesday, Sal Perez hit a grand slam. Come from behind win. They had that grand slam in the 8th, and they defeated Boston 6-4. Blue Jays tack on a run here. Soria deals a strike.
It wouldn't hurt. Somehow figure out a way to get that run, and they've left 9 runners on base again tonight. They've lacked that one clutch hit to really blow this game open.
Martin's the hitter, then Donaldson, and then Justin Smoke, who took over for Morales in the 8th inning defensively. He's in the cleanup spot. And the breaking ball misses down low and away, and a count of 2 balls and 1 strike here in the top of the 9th inning. Jays scored both of their runs in the 4th. Morales was hit by a pitch. Tulowitzki, a double, drove him home. And Tulowitzki eventually scored on a wild pitch. Soria is the 4th pitcher used tonight by Ned Yost. Junis, along with Moylan, Alexander. And now Soria, foul ball, and the count 2 balls, 2 strikes. Martin played 3rd yesterday. Had a double, a single, and a run scored.
Soria is 33 years old. He's missed 2 full seasons in the major leagues because of injury. But when he was on, heading into this year, 203 saves in his career. He's in the 2nd year of a 3-year contract that he signed with Kansas City in December of 2015. Give them an experienced arm towards the back end of the bullpen. Kelvin Herrera is the closer. Soria is now one of their setup men.
Count now runs full to Martin. Soria to the plate and fouled off to the right side. Count remains full with Bautista at first. Parmley struck out to start the inning. And as we mentioned, Roberto Osuna in the dugout for the Blue Jays. He picked up his 19th save on a Wednesday night in Texas. A conversation with Luke Maile and Joe Biagini there as well.
We'll have to find out about that. Jose Bautista almost did not get back. There's a lot of dirt that he's fixing around first base, and he slipped on his way back to first base. Joe West is having a little chuckle about that.
Bautista doing some maintenance. And the 3-2 misses inside, and Martin walks. And runners now at first and second here in the top of the ninth.
He went on a 3-2 pitch in the first inning. He almost didn't get back on that one. I don't think he was going. I think he was just anticipating Soria throwing the ball home. So he has to dive back.
So Donaldson is the hitter. He had an opportunity in the 7th inning with runners at first and second base, and he struck out to end the inning. He has struck out 3 times tonight, and Perez and Soria in a conversation about what they want to do with Donaldson here.
Well, last time it was all breaking balls from Moylan to Donaldson. Soria has faced him 4 times in his career. He's given up 1 hit.
Josh awaits with runners at first and second, and he fouls it off to the right side. And the Blue Jays add a couple here. On deck is Smoke. Smoke 9th in the league, hitting .303, 4th with 20 homers. Has a 7-game hit streak. Double play depth through the middle, and there's a strike.
He's going to have to battle now. 2 strikes against Soria. Soria in his career, I told you he was a closer. He had a season in 2010 with Kansas City here, 43 saves and a .216 batting average against a .178 earned run average. He's been in these situations plenty of times in his career.
One ball, 2 strikes. Bautista at second. Martin at first. Bautista base hit through the right side, then Martin with a walk. One away here in the top of the 9th inning. Soria has the sign. Ahead in the count. And the 2-strike pitch is lofted softly into right field, and it gets down. Bautista rounds third. He will score. And Donaldson comes through, a breaking ball down low and away. He fights it off and sends it into right field. And the Blue Jays add a run here in the 9th.
Oh, that's a big one, and there's some more out there for their leader in RBIs, Justin Smoke. What a piece of hitting by Josh Donaldson. That's called plate coverage. You've got 2 strikes, and you've got to battle against a tough right-hander. He throws that breaking ball out there. You cut your swing down. Just slap the ball to right field. Keep the at-bat alive. He's going to score Bautista, send Martin to third. Blue Jays get a big, and I mean big, insurance run.
And that brings up One of the best hitters in the American League, Justin Smoke. .598 slugging percentage, third best in the AL. First pitch was a fastball strike. There are the numbers. One away here and fouled off to the left side and quickly 0-2. Martin's at third. Donaldson at first. The other day, John Gibbons was talking about that new lineup that he wanted to put together. He's yet to actually put it together based upon injuries and days off. And that pitch misses away, but maybe tomorrow you'll see it. It would be Bautista, Martin, Donaldson, Smoke, and then Morales.
He might be able to use that DH spot to rest some of his players. Not worrying about that now. He's figuring out how to get this run in.
And Smoke delivers. He's got an 8-game hit streak and a base hit the opposite way, and that's going to score Martin. And the Blue Jays come through here in the top of the 9th inning, and they lead 4-1 with another great piece of hitting by a Blue Jay hitter.
Well, we have seen this time and time again from Smoke in the first half. Plate coverage, his ability to stay on the breaking ball. It's a curveball. He stays back, fights it off. You can see his weight shift was taking him to the front side, but then recognized breaking ball, and he stayed back that fraction of a second longer. And he's able to just punch the ball the other way.
What a season he has had. 8-game hit streak now, batting .407. And 5 RBIs, and that'll bring up Tulowitzki. Tulowitzki drove in the first run back in the 4th inning. And runners at first and second. Ground ball, chopper. They're going to play it for 2. Escobar to second out, and Tulowitzki on with a fielder's choice as Smoke is out at second base. And runners at the corners with 2 away. And Dwight Smith Jr. is the hitter.
What a night for Dwight Smith.
Yeah.
How about a 4-hit game if you can come through one more time?
Second 3-hit game as a big leaguer. And a big swing and a miss there. Has driven in 1 run. Over at third base is Donaldson. Runners at the corners here with 2 away in the top of the 9th inning. Welcome everyone to Kansas City. 2 out here in the top of the 9th inning, and the Jays have added 2 here in the top of the 9th. Dwight Smith Jr. is the hitter. It's 1 ball, 2 strikes, and what a great outing this evening by Jay Happ, who worked 6 2/3, 4 hits, 1 run. It was earned. Jays picked up a pair in the 4th. They've added 2 here.
2 big insurance runs, and there's some more out there for you if you want it. They have worked over Soria this inning.
And unfortunately, Dwight Smith Jr. strikes out to end the top of the 9th inning, but not before Josh Donaldson comes through. 2 strikes, plate coverage, as Tabby mentioned, a breaking ball down low and away, and he drives into Bautista. We go to the bottom of the in the top of the 9th inning. And so here in the bottom of the 9th, it's Hosmer, Perez, Moustakas. No Roberto Osuna this evening. Not in the bullpen, in the dugout. We did not receive any word prior to the start of this game. And so Ryan Tepera remains in. Danny Barnes worked an inning. Tepera came in and struck out Kane with Merrifield at second base and 2 outs. So here's Eric Hosmer, always dangerous, and a fastball in there for a strike. Hosmer 0 for 3 tonight. Reached base back in the 7th inning on an error by Goins. Goins replaced by Darwin Barney as that pitch is swung on and missed.
That's nasty. That is a late breaking slider under the bat of Hosmer. The Blue Jays have had 4 different players save games for him this year. Ryan Tepera is one of them.
And down and in, and Hosmer stays alive.
Joe Biagini has a save for the Blue Jays. Jason Grilli. Ryan Tepera 1 for 2 in saves this year, and of course Osuna's got 19 of them. This is a save opportunity for Tepera, number 2, if he can hold the Royals down.
Tepera ahead in the count, 0-2. Outfield straight away and deep, and the fastball away is out of the zone. Smoke came in as a defensive replacement for Morales. He was given the evening off up until the 8th inning, and then he came through with a base hit and an RBI in the top of the 9th inning. And it's fouled off. Hosmer stays alive. Barney was used as a pinch hitter for Ryan Goins back in the 8th inning. He's at second base. Donaldson, if you're just joining us, he was questionable to play tonight. In fact, the lineup didn't come out until about an hour before the start of the game. And Donaldson was a go, which is a good thing since joining the team. Blue Jays have won 192 games with him in the lineup and have lost 152.
That's a good pitch up and away, and I'll tell you, that base hit by Josh last inning is going to make that knee feel a lot better.
Absolutely. I mean, that was a tough breaking ball down low and away with 2 strikes, and lifted it into shallow right field, and a big run scored.
You go and get your treatment like you did all day yesterday, all day today, right up until game time, and then he was a go.
The 1-2 in on the hands and driven foul.
He's been a tough out, Eric Hosmer. Struck out his first time up, tapped out his second time up, got on an error his 3rd time up, and now he's making Ryan Tepera work.
He was 2 for 8 in the series against the Red Sox. Down in the count, trying to stay alive, and he fouls that one off to the left side. So no Osuna tonight. It's Tepera. Happ, his 3rd straight strong outing, and something that the Blue Jays needed after the starters really struggled in Texas. And once again fouled off.
I think that's the pitch, that one right there, that slider that can get underneath his bat. That's the one that he's going to use, or can use, to get the out. He's just tipping it, just getting a piece of it. That, or he can go upstairs with a fastball. Maybe Hosmer will be a little bit too anxious and swing at it.
Here's the 9th pitch of the at-bat, driven into right field. And making his major league debut, Ian Parmley puts it away. And here's a pitching line for Jay Happ.
What a night for Happ. 105 pitches for Jay. That gets him 4 hits, just 1 earned run. Those Those 105 pitches are a season high for him. No walks again and 5 strikeouts. His fastball command was outstanding. He was throwing the ball where he wanted to. He was going up and in, down and away. He was aggressive. He was jumping ahead. And he is in line for the W tonight.
Yeah. For Jay, it would be his 3rd consecutive win. Picked up the victory on June 11th in Seattle. As Perez drives this one deep to left field. And Smith and Pilar will have to play it off of the wall as Smith gave chase and Perez has a double. And I mentioned this before, so if you're just joining us, 20 of the 35 wins for Kansas City have come from behind.
And this guy's hot, Perez, as Dwight Smith goes back and just, again, almost comes up with another great catch. His speed gets him to the ball, but he just hasn't been able to get to the ball and corral it. Missed the ball off of Perez's bat his first time up, or excuse me, his last time up to drive in a run, and that time went a long way for that one. Just can't come up with it. There's the speed that's going to take him back to the wall. It's game of inches, just out of his reach.
And Perez had that sinking liner as Moustakas drives this one foul back in the 7th inning, as you mentioned, to drive in Lorenzo Cain. Moustakas is hitless tonight. The shift is on. Leads the team with 19 home runs. No Osuna. It's Tepera's game. And the Jays up 4-1. And he fans at it. 0-2.
Well, right now he is ready to swing the bat. He's loading up and ready to swing at anything. So you don't have to throw him a strike here to get him out.
Tepera to the plate. In on the hands. Lifted into shallow left field. And on the run is Tulowitzki, who had to come a long way because of where he was playing with the shift.
That looked like another base hit off the bat, didn't it?
It did.
We saw that earlier with Brandon Moss as he dropped a 2-strike ball down the left field line. Tulowitzki is starting in the shift. That's him on the first base side of second base. It's off the bat, but Tulo runs hard and gets that one. He was the only one who was going to catch that ball.
The pitch to Moss is a ball. Brandon Moss 1 for 3 with 2 strikeouts, and you just mentioned that bloop base hit into left field. That was back in the 5th inning. Tepera 1 out away from the save, and it's fouled off. Trying to get in under the hands.
And he did. Not much he could do it with that pitch. Tepera's had a great year. He has simplified things. He's been more aggressive in the strike zone. I think he is trusting his stuff just a little bit more this year.
Fouled off, and so Martin and Laz Diaz hustling out to get that one.
Russell's feeling with the pretty good.
Yeah.
I think that one went off of Russell, but he was going to show Laz Diaz that he's okay. Sprinted after that thing. He's having a little chuckle.
And a big smile there.
He's saying, hey man, yesterday was an off day. I played third base.
Life is easy down there.
Yeah, this is more like it.
At second base, Perez. A 1-out double. There's now 2 away. Moss is the batter. Tepera to the plate with a 1-2, and the fastball misses high. Blue Jays with 2 key runs in the top of the 9th inning. And if they can come away with this one here tonight, once again they'll be 1 game back of 500. The elusive 500. Fouled off to the left side.
Day game tomorrow. I got Marco Estrada going for the Blue Jays. Gotta like your chances there to get the 500 if they can hold on and win this one.
Estrada worked on a Monday. It's 3 2/3. Although they felt comfortable with the way he was pitching, it was just some bad luck. Oh, hit here, infield single. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. And Perez at second. Tepera from the belt. And Moss stays alive.
You know, it's tough for hitters to stay inside that slider that's coming right at them. And by staying inside it, I mean your hands go between your body and the baseball so you can keep it fair. If you go around it, that's what you're going to see. You're going to foul that ball off your foot, off your knee. You're going to pull it foul. Just keep staying right in there on him.
Tepera, and that one misses in tight. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Perez on the second base bag. Tepera focused in on Moss. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away. Game 1 of a 3-game set from Kansas City. Ground ball, twisting foul.
There is Aaron Loop. He is getting up just in case this gets down to Alex Gordon, who is 2 hitters away.
Tepera with 1 save on the season, looking for his second. The 3-2 gets away from Martin. Now runners at the corners and a walk.
This would be a good time, I think, for Pete Walker to go out there and talk to him and slow him down just a little bit. He's thrown a lot of pitches. Remember, he struck out Kane in a tight situation last inning, then had to go sit down and then come back out and try and finish this inning. And if you're not used to that, pitching an inning, finishing it, sitting down, and then coming back out, getting loose, it can wear on you. So this is a good visit right here from Pete Walker, just to give Tepera a little bit of a blow and just to calm everything down.
Tying run will now come to the plate. The last 13, including the postseason at Kauffman. It has not been an easy place for the Jays to play, and that's why those 2 runs at the top of this inning, Tabby, so important. And
yes,
remember, no Osuna tonight.
And the Kansas City Royals have played the Blue Jays tough here. They have made their own breaks. There's Roberto on the bench. The runs on the bases, the runners on the bases don't mean anything. That's why Justin Smoke is playing behind the runners. But they don't mean anything. It's the guy at the plate they want to leave off of second base.
Escobar has 1 home run on the season. He is 0 for the night. Royals have won 9 of their last 11. One of the hottest teams in the American League and throughout baseball.
And they battle you all the way down to the last out. That was pitch number 31 right there tonight for Ryan Tepera.
Escobar in the box. Perez at third. Moss at first. And hit in the air to shallow right field. It's going to fall in front of Parmley. 1 run is in. And runners now at the corners for the Royals. Oh my. Outfield was deep because you don't want an extra base hit. And it falls right in front of Parmley.
Well, sometimes you make good pitches, and sometimes you have to tip your hat to the hitter. Tepera threw a good pitch, a slider down and away, but Escobar, he's a notorious free swinger, gets a piece of it, dumps it into right field, and that's going to bring Aaron Loop in to face Alex Gordon. Tepera can't close the door. Let's see if Aaron can pick up a save.
Alex Gordon hitting 188. He's hitless tonight. Jays lead 4-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Ryan Tepera unable to get out of the ninth inning and frustrated, and understandably so. He leaves runners at the corners for Aaron Loop.
You were that close to ending the ball game. Made a good pitch to Escobar, and Escobar got a base hit, so now it's up to Aaron Loop to try and close it off. He's 2-0 with a 304 earned run average. Lefties are hitting .318 against him. They brought him in here to face a lefty in Alex Gordon. Loop's got to figure out a way to get him. He's faced him 3 times in his career, and Gordon is 0 for 3. This is a big out. Again, the tying run now is at first base.
Gordon drives it right through the middle. Scoring is Moss, and the tying run is now at third, and Escobar.
He just has had trouble getting left-handers out this year. He's going to come in and throw one pitch. Gordon's going to greet him with a base hit, and that's going to be it. John Gibbons has already been out. He's already made the motion to the bullpen. So without Osuna available tonight, Jason Grilli's got a chance to lock this one down. Stay tuned.
Tying Jason Grilli comes in, the veteran right-hander, making his 26th appearance with no Roberto Osuna. John Gibbons' first turn to Ryan Tepera, then he went to Aaron Loup, and here is Grilli.
Yeah, the third chance to pick up a save. 2-4 this season with a .697 earned run average is Jason Grilli. Jason does have a save this year. He's 1 for 2 in saves. And he's going to be facing a right-hander at Whit Merrifield. Really calming things down. Fastball, slider, the fastball. He's had a little bit better fastball his last couple of times out.
38,000 plus on their feet, and the first pitch misses down and in. Blue Jays picked up 2 runs in the 4th. They added 2 in the top of the 9th inning.
How big are those right now?
Huge. Potential tying run in Escobar at 3rd. Go-ahead run, the winning run at 1st. That's Gordon, and the breaking ball misses. 2-0 the count. The rookie, Bonifacio, awaits. He's on deck. There is Escobar and Moss. Gordon, pardon me. Moss scored here in the 9th. On the base hit off of the bat of Gordon. Really comes set. Blue Jays lead 4-3. In on the hands and fouled right back towards us.
Merrifield's been a tough at-bat for the Royals. He's really set the tone for them since they moved him into that leadoff spot this season. He's given them some good at-bats.
Really comes set. Runners on the corners and 2 away, and a fastball runs high, and a count of 3 balls and 1 strike. Merrifield remains in the batter's box. Grilli with the 3-1. Hit in the air to left field. Coming over is Dwight Smith Jr. This game is tied. And rounding third, heading home is Gordon. The throw to the plate, not in time. And the Royals come from behind for the 21st time this season. And they're at 500 for the 2nd time this season.
What a finish for Kansas City. They looked like they were dead in the water with a 4-1 lead. Heading into the bottom of the 9th inning, but that's a scrappy bunch over there. And Whit Merrifield wins it with a 2-run double. They got a great month of June. They've been averaging 6 runs a game. Tonight it took 5 to beat the Blue Jays.
Jays lose a heartbreaker here in the first game of a 3-game set. It's time for Sportsnet Central with Carolyn Cameron and Ken Reed.